Yeah, we don't want to talk about that. We're gonna get through this.
I seen him on something. He look like a bum.
Floyd?
Yeah, he looking like a bum. Had like he ain't shaved in months.
Oh yeah, I seen that too.
There's no way this man is broke. There's no way.
Yeah.
If he is,
I don't know
where the money went to.
Exactly.
You know what? Yeah, what y'all say earlier?
He ran up $1 billion.
What'd you say?
My first investment was real estate.
Wow.
I went from commercial real estate, huge, skyscrapers actually. So I own what I own.
Bragging now.
No, I'm not
now
bragging.
You're bragging.
No.
Yeah, I think it's fine. Yeah.
You don't point like this because
I know he on.
Floyd Mayweather's reputation for limitless wealth is starting to look less certain, and this time the doubts aren't coming only from critics but from lawsuits, struggling ventures, questionable property claims, and his constant efforts to prove he's still financially secure. There have been reports that he made strong statements about owning certain real estate that was never fully in his name, and after the controversy that followed, he has now stepped back from whatever shared ownership he had connected to those properties. For someone who built his public image around showing off luxury and success, the growing lack of clear information about his finances is becoming harder for people to ignore. The warning signs appear to be adding up, leaving many to question whether his financial position is as solid as it once seemed and whether he could be dealing with serious money pressure or at the very least moving closer to a risky situation.
Like this. And it gets worse, your jeweler filed a lawsuit against you in Miami. And many are saying you're gonna have to sell off your assets. I hate seeing this happen, bro.
It began with a bold claim. Mayweather, known for talking big, said earlier this year that he owns 62 apartment buildings in New York City worth more than $42 million, not managed or partly invested in, but fully owned. The statement was meant to show that the man who calls himself TBE wasn't only dominant in the ring but also thriving in retirement, surrounded by real estate, private jets, and expensive jewelry that matched the image of a billionaire living without limits. However, once the claim spread online, people started digging deeper. The internet keeps receipts, and property records are public, making it harder to ignore the growing questions about whether those ownership claims were ever fully true.
To my lifestyle, showing the people how I live. Now, I know you guys see me on a regular talking about real estate. Well, lately, I purchased 62 apartment buildings in New York City. And what I need you guys to do, slide over and check out the photos. It's not all 62 buildings, it's a few buildings, but guess what? All the buildings belong to me. I don't have no partners. And all the retail down low on my buildings all belong to me.
That's when Business Insider entered the picture. In a sharp report released in May, the outlet directly questioned Floyd's statements and said investigators couldn't find clear records linking Floyd Mayweather to ownership of those buildings. There were no signatures, no official documents, and no firm legal connections tying him to the properties. Some of the buildings were listed under shell companies, which wealthy investors often use, but even with that, there was still no solid proof showing he truly controlled them. The report didn't claim he had no money or assets at all, but it did suggest that the numbers he shared didn't match what could be verified. And for someone who carefully protects his image of success, nothing hits harder than public doubts about his wealth and credibility.
With one of my new investments, I would be making $300 million a month.
What investment is that?
In real estate. I'm heavy in real estate, even though I got a lot of cash. OPM. You don't always have to use your money. That's why it's very important for y'all to make sure y'all keep y'all.
So he filed a lawsuit, not a quiet complaint, but a massive $120 million case accusing the outlet of damaging his name and trying to ruin his reputation on purpose. That decision alone caught a lot of attention. If his ownership claims were solid, many felt the simpler move would have been to present clear proof, show official documents, and lay out the companies connected to the properties. Instead, he chose to fight the story in court and focus on the narrative around it. To many observers, that reaction didn't look like full confidence in the claims being made, but more like an effort to control the fallout and protect the image he has worked so hard to build.
What I'm doing right now, that's what I do every day. Shop. Paying them a light, couple bucks. Greg, come with me.
The controversy didn't end there, because as the lawsuit grabbed attention, another one of his business projects started showing cracks in public view. His gym brand, Mayweather Boxing Plus Fitness, was meant to be a long-lasting global legacy, with locations around the world using the Mayweather name and promising to help regular people train like fighters. However, a fresh investigation by Business Insider claims the brand is now struggling, with more than half of its U.S. locations reportedly shutting down and over $8 million in lawsuits filed by former franchise owners who say they were misled, overcharged, or treated unfairly. The situation has raised more questions about the stability of ventures tied to Floyd Mayweather and whether the business empire built around his name is as strong as it once appeared.
Trunks alone, 30 million, just with the patches on my trunks, that's 30 million alone. So who's really the smartest one in the sport of boxing? And they say, well, it's not all about the money. Well, your kids can't eat legacy. They can eat off the currency. If you guys don't want to see me do no exhibitions, don't come. Don't watch. I come on record and tell y'all.
Franchise owners say Floyd Mayweather's name was used to draw them in with promises that he would be involved, along with flashy ads and revenue projections that they now claim weren't realistic. In practice, they allege he rarely did more than appear in promotional clips, and some say they were left struggling or even bankrupt after investing in the brand. Several locations didn't just underperform, they collapsed completely, leaving owners with heavy losses and unanswered questions. As the complaints grew louder, Mayweather stayed mostly silent in public and let his legal team handle the situation. For someone whose public image is built on dominance and control, the recent criticism and setbacks are starting to feel like a series of tough hits that are hard to ignore.
Mayweather Jr., there's a story circulating that Business Insider did talking about this $400 million property deal that he had been discussing here in New York City. But now, according to Business Insider, it's not what you think it is. They said there's no evidence there's been a sale of these properties, and it's 62 rental apartment buildings in Upper Manhattan. Here is what Floyd...
Stephen A. Smith made a remark that sounded calm and offhand but carried real weight, suggesting that Floyd Mayweather might be facing money issues because he keeps going out of his way to remind everyone how rich he is. The comment landed harder than any punch from Manny Pacquiao because it didn't come from a critic, a blogger, or someone with a personal grudge, but from a veteran analyst who has seen many famous figures rise and fall over time. It was the kind of observation that only gets voiced when there are real questions behind the scenes, hinting that the situation might not be as solid as it looks and that the constant displays of wealth could be an attempt to keep up appearances rather than proof that everything is fine.
The best investments that I did was New York real estate. So it started off with 7 figures, and I was getting a certain amount of money every month. When I first gave them $5 million, I was getting $50,000 a month. So I said, yo, the money kept coming on the 18th every month. 50,000 would come in. I still was competing, I still was fighting, I still was active, and I still was making crazy money.
Even Floyd Mayweather's attempts to defend himself have felt off lately. In one Instagram post beside a private jet, he wrote, "If this is what being broke looks like, I want to stay broke." Back in 2015, that kind of flex might have impressed people, but in 2025 it came across as empty. The focus on jets and flashy displays isn't convincing anymore. The problems go beyond real estate and gyms. Insiders say he's spending more than he earns, with property taxes alone taking a huge bite out of his money. His lifestyle hasn't changed since retirement. He still travels with a large entourage, shops like he's training for a big fight, and acts as if his wealth is limitless. Unless there's a hidden fortune no one knows about, many are questioning how long this can realistically continue.
You know what's crazy? People are always in my fucking business, worried about what I'm doing, what Floyd is doing, what Floyd ain't doing, what I do got, what I don't got.
There's also chatter about Floyd Mayweather's jewelry, including his famous billion-dollar watch collection, said to be worth more than most athletes earn in a lifetime. Experts warn that custom watches usually lose value unless they're museum quality, often dropping in price the moment they're bought. The same goes for his cars, mansions, and private jets. Without careful management, they're more liabilities than assets. What's most revealing isn't what he's doing, but what he isn't. He's not publicly investing in new ventures, launching brands, forming tech partnerships, or expanding his business empire. Right now, he's in defensive mode, and when someone like Floyd, who thrives on attention, suddenly steps back and plays it safe, it's a clear sign that all may not be as it seems financially.
Things may not be how they seem. So a couple weeks back, I talked about it here on the show. Floyd Mayweather said he dropped $402 million on 62 Manhattan rental buildings. But Business Insider went and did the research. They did their Googles, and they said they couldn't find any receipts that this is true. There were no deed transfers, no public records, nothing. They made some phone calls to owners, and they could not find any information regarding this.
At this point, the question isn't just whether Floyd Mayweather is broke today, it's where things are headed. He's facing aging, lawsuits, negative publicity, and failing businesses all at once. Instead of creating new opportunities, he's focusing on legal battles, and rather than building fresh assets, he's showing off the old ones. Worst of all, he's losing the quiet confidence that always protected his image. Once people start doubting the king's crown, even his wealth begins to look fragile. He may still have jets, some properties, and a bank account that could impress a CEO, but the real question is how long it will last. If this is how he handles pressure now, it's easy to imagine a future where the money slowly runs out, not with a dramatic collapse, but with a quiet, steady fade.
62 apartment buildings in New York City.
Oh, embarrassing. Floyd, you're 50 years old. You're a legend in the sport. I've stood up for you in countless interviews, including Shannon Sharp's podcast last week. But you have to stop embarrassing yourself with these exhibitions. I know life is hard. I know life is expensive. But come on, dude.
Behind the flashy Instagram posts and exotic vacation shots, a growing number of voices are raising doubts that Floyd Mayweather's empire is starting to crack, and the loudest critiques are coming from within the sport that made him famous. What began as quiet concern has turned into public criticism, especially from people who have fought alongside him, worked with him, or experienced the business side of his marketing empire. The sharpest comments aren't from random outsiders. They're coming from peers like Amir Khan, industry figures like Eddie Hearn, and even younger fighters who once admired his drive. Across different voices and styles, they're all sending the same message. Floyd Mayweather may not be as wealthy or as financially secure as he claims.
Not just 400 million. So it's a lot more, but that's just one of the portfolios I happen to purchase in 2024.
Wow. And that's how it's blossoming?
Well, you know, the number is growing each and every day. Like I said, the number is growing each and every day. That's one of my buildings in Manhattan. And as you can see, everything down bottom, from top to bottom I own, all the way down. And I'm truly, truly blessed.
Yeah.
When Amir Khan claimed that Floyd Mayweather was facing bankruptcy, the boxing world wasn't sure how to react. Khan presented it as the natural result of karma. Years of flaunting wealth, disrespecting other fighters, and getting involved in controversial political stances. What made his statement stand out was the confidence with which he said it. He didn't speculate or hint, he stated it as fact. It's sad to see Floyd like this. He's going through bankruptcy. He didn't show documents, but he did something arguably riskier for Floyd's reputation. He sounded like he truly believed it.
You know, I didn't have to have 70 fights, or 150 fights, 300 fights. Did I not beat the most world champions?
Yes, you did.
Okay. And in the least amount of fights?
Yes, you did.
Who got the highest gate?
Floyd Mayweather.
Who made the most money?
You did.
Who was the most accurate fighter of all time?
You were.
So it's basically saying that...
The greatest of all time.
Okay.
All right.
Khan also linked his claims to Floyd's recent political moves, especially his sudden public support for Israel. According to Khan, it wasn't about ideology, it was transactional. He said Floyd was being paid to show support, which is a serious accusation, suggesting his political voice could be for sale. Whether it's true or not, the implication is clear. If Mayweather is taking money just to stand beside flags, it's not about belief in a cause, it's about needing cash. Even if that's partly true, it damages the image of Mayweather as someone untouchable by financial pressure.
Why you not coming back to fight? Why you not coming back to fight? So I look at the fight game. I said, okay. I said, you know, fighters fighting, they make 3 million, 4 million, 6 million, 7 million. Some may make 10 or 20 million. But I'm doing exhibitions and I'm making 20, 25 million, 100 million for exhibitions. So why would I come back and fight?
But Khan didn't stop at politics. He also brought up rumors about Floyd getting into legal trouble in Dubai, mentioning a supposed arrest, house arrest, and bounced checks. He admitted he had no documents to prove it but insisted, "I heard it from people in the government." While that kind of claim might not stand up in the court of public opinion, especially with Floyd's already shaky image, it only added more fuel to the fire.
New York alone, I got 9 skyscrapers. And Andrew Mathias, great business guy. This is what he told me one day. We took a walk. We was in New York. We was taking a walk. He said, "You see that building right there?" He said, "Yeah." We said, "We own that. You see this building? We own it." So we was walking and walking. Then he said, a boxer makes money when he boxing. A football player makes money when he playing football. Basketball player makes money when he playing basketball. He said, but New York real estate, you make money when you sleep.
Then came Eddie Hearn, a voice with real influence in boxing and sports worldwide. His comments were sharp, professional, and free of personal attacks or speculation. He focused on Floyd's post-retirement exhibition matches, constant, unending, and increasingly unimpressive. Hearn asked a pointed question. Why would someone who calls himself a billionaire keep fighting influencers, unknown fighters, and non-boxers? His answer was clear. It's not about desire, it's about necessity. Mayweather isn't fighting because he wants to. He's fighting because he has to.
Random people in random places. Yeah. For 5 million here, 10 million there.
No, he's just a big spender. You can't spend like that, Like,
this guy has a lot of chains.
So many chains, bro. Chains, that's a depreciating asset. Get yourself something that'll hold value.
Hearn's comments hit hard enough that Floyd felt the need to respond publicly. Speaking from one of his gyms, he mocked the idea that he was broke and tried to take control of the narrative. But the fact that he felt the need to respond said more than he probably intended. For someone who built his image on letting criticism slide, this was different. He wasn't ignoring it. He was defending his finances like a man who knows they might be slipping.
Price it all. It's
Money Mayweather.
It's who he is. I've always thought that he's a horrible person, and this is every bit of
people don't like Floyd.
You start a business, but I need
people
you guys
do
to
not like somebody who's gonna just constantly show money.
Meanwhile, the cracks in Floyd's brand are no longer just rumors. They're showing up in court documents, closed franchises, and failed ventures. His Mayweather Boxing Plus Fitness franchise, once promoted as a global fitness revolution, is now falling apart. Over half the U.S. locations have closed, and lawsuits are piling up. Franchise owners are suing for millions, claiming they were misled, overcharged, and left abandoned. Many say they invested expecting Floyd's involvement, only to find he disappeared once the money cleared. Others accuse the brand of exaggerating revenue projections and failing to provide proper support.
I told the guys, well, I'm going to bring y'all another 8 figures. I said, I'm going to bring you guys 8 figures now. I know I gave you guys 7 figures, but I'm going to bring you guys 8 figures. It was paying off. So what I did was I went and dumped 9 figures on them. When you see me, you see the cars, you see the flashy. It's a lot that comes along with that. A lot of smart moves that's behind the scenes.
These aren't just trolls on social media. These are real business owners who risked their savings on Mayweather's name and lost. Some have gone bankrupt, others are tied up in lawsuits, and all of it is on record. The fallout is massive, and it's not just about money, it's about trust. Mayweather's name no longer guarantees success. For many, it's now a warning sign.
I got my own liquid, and that means cash. For those, I break it down in layman's terms. Even though I got a lot of cash. OPM.
Okay.
OPM. You don't always have to use your money. That's why it's very important for y'all to make sure y'all keep y'all credit right.
Talk to us about
And then there's the bigger financial picture. Mayweather's extravagant lifestyle hasn't slowed. Private jets, million-dollar watches, huge entourages, but the income to support it isn't as steady as it used to be. The big pay-per-view fights are over, mainstream endorsements are quiet, and exhibition bouts are losing hype and payout. His claimed real estate empire, 62 buildings worth $400 million, has yet to be proven, and the lawsuit he filed against Business Insider for questioning it could backfire if he's forced to show evidence in court.
I often say, you're just a guy with a job. I have a job, though. So who would you fight next?
Guess what? Your job don't pay like my job.
Well, it depends.
Your job don't pay like my job.
That brings me to another point. Why are you coming back?
I can make $200 million in 18 months because I want to. Because I want to come back and steal some more money. Is that okay with you?
It's fine.
Okay,
I enjoy watching your fights.
Okay.
Who might be next?
It doesn't matter.
There's also the IRS to consider. While no current liens show up publicly, Floyd's history with unpaid taxes is well known. Back in 2017, he owed $22 million and reportedly delayed payment until after the Conor McGregor fight. Tax debt doesn't just disappear. It grows with penalties and interest. If he's behind again or cutting it close, it could explain why he's been pushing new ventures, fighting unknown opponents, and suing media outlets. Desperation isn't always obvious. Sometimes it's calculated. Fans and followers are noticing, with Reddit threads, YouTube comments, and boxing forums buzzing with speculation that Mayweather's lifestyle may no longer be sustainable.
He gets these people to box with him. They have no business boxing with him, and he's making millions and millions of dollars doing this way after his competitive career is over. That money, that money has to keep coming in if you're going to live like this.
It's absolutely, he needs money. You think he's once again? Come on, fighters like that.
Others see the sheer number of his exhibition fights as proof he's trying to keep up appearances. Many point to the IRS again, suggesting that if he weren't behind on taxes, he wouldn't risk his brand just for a paycheck. One viral comment put it bluntly, Floyd used to own the room. Now he just rents it out to keep the lights on. The narrative has flipped fast. Not long ago, Mayweather was hailed as boxing's smartest businessman, someone who mastered the system, maximized earnings, and retired undefeated. Now, that same system seems to be catching up. His credibility is questioned, his ventures are failing, and the fortune once legendary is now under intense scrutiny.
$800 million, and my money is still making money. And as far as in real estate, I made smart investments, and I can think I got somewhere upwards of $1.2 billion in real estate as of right now. But just smart investments. Like I said before, I'm just truly blessed, and I'm thankful for all the people that went out and bought pay-per-view all those years.
What about the TMT gear? That's selling great.
I think right now with the money team and the movement, we're making.
Mayweather has always talked about hard work and dedication, but in 2025, it looks more like damage control and litigation. He's not growing his empire, he's trying to keep it from falling apart. As more doubts, lawsuits, and warnings surface, the weight of his own image may finally be too much to carry. He built a persona of invincibility, but the harder he works to prove he's on top, the more people see a man trying not to fall. The question isn't just whether Floyd Mayweather is broke, it's why so many peers, promoters, partners, and former allies are now suggesting he might be.